In a world where danger lurks around every corner, some people take things too far. A group of outlaw bikers, fueled by a twisted sense of fun, think it's a game to harm a police K9, one of the most trusted and skilled members of law enforcement. They have no idea the storm they've just unleashed. The K9's handler, a seasoned officer with a fierce bond to his partner, is about to make them regret ever crossing that line. What the bikers don't know is that the trainer isn't just any cop. He's a relentless force who will stop at nothing to track them down and make them pay. With the K9's life hanging in the balance, the stage is set for a high-stakes manhunt. Can the bikers outrun the fury that's about to descend on them, or is their fate sealed? Find out in this gripping, real-life showdown. The bikers, a notorious gang known for wreaking havoc across the region, were no strangers to violence. But this time, they had crossed a line they couldn't undo. The K9, named Rex, wasn't just a dog. He was a symbol of loyalty and strength, trained for years to work alongside his handler, Officer Daniels. Rex had helped solve countless cases, tracking down criminals, and protecting his human partners in the most dangerous of situations. When the bikers spotted Rex and Daniels during a routine patrol, they saw an opportunity for cruelty. They taunted the dog, provoking it to the point of aggression, all for the sick amusement of the gang. What they didn't see coming was the bond between man and dog, something far stronger than they could ever understand. Daniels was not about to let this go. With the bikers now marked, he and Rex began a relentless pursuit, their eyes set on justice, no matter the cost. As Officer Daniels and Rex hit the road in pursuit, the adrenaline coursing through Daniels' veins was palpable. He didn't speak, but his eyes were sharp, scanning the road ahead as he gripped the steering wheel tighter. Rex, though injured, sat stoically beside him, his sharp eyes still full of fire. The bikers had made a deadly mistake, and now they were about to feel the consequences. Meanwhile, the gang was unaware of the danger closing in. They were used to getting away with whatever they wanted, living on the edge and running from the law for years. But this time, they had underestimated the resolve of one man and his K9 partner. As they rode down the highway, laughing and reveling in their cruelty, a quiet tension brewed. They knew the law was after them, but they had no idea how personal this chase had become. On the outskirts of town, tensions began to build within their ranks. Some of the bikers questioned their leader, Denny, whose reckless behavior had led them into this mess. Others were too loyal, too afraid of the gang's brutal code to back down. As the uncertainty within the gang grew, Denny's eyes were fixed on the road ahead, the weight of his decisions slowly sinking in. He could feel the walls closing in, but pride and fear kept him from turning back. Back on the trail, Daniel's thoughts were consumed by one thing: Rex. The bond between them was something unspoken but undeniable. Rex had been by his side through countless dangerous situations, and now it was his turn to protect the dog. With every mile that passed, the distance between him and the bikers grew shorter, and the stakes got higher. The chase was no longer about just getting them off the streets, it was about sending a message. The bikers, still unaware of the looming danger, began to grow more reckless, taking dangerous turns and speeding through small towns, drawing the attention of local authorities. But even with all the law enforcement on their tail, they couldn't outrun the relentless pursuit of Daniels and Rex. The clock was ticking, and with every passing second, the tension reached a boiling point. Who would catch who first? The chase had entered its final critical phase. The road ahead was a winding stretch through dense forest, where the bikers thought they could lose any pursuers. The trees closed in, and the sound of engines revving echoed through the thick air. But Daniels knew the land better than anyone. He'd trained for moments like this. He pushed the gas pedal down, his eyes locked onto the narrow trail ahead, with Rex at his side, alert, focused, ready. Meanwhile, the bikers were starting to unravel. Denny, the gang's leader, could feel the pressure mounting. The thrill of the ride had worn off. His stomach churned as he glanced nervously in the rearview mirror. They had been running for miles, but something felt different now. He could feel the weight of Daniel's determination closing in on them. They weren't just being chased by a cop anymore. They were being hunted by a man whose loyalty to his partner was unbreakable. Rex let out a low growl from the passenger seat, his muscles tense. Daniels had trained him to sense danger, and right now, everything in the air screamed that the bikers were nearing their final stand. He could hear the thundering of their bikes in the distance, each roar of the engine sending a pulse through his body. Every second felt like an eternity, but he pushed forward, determined to close the gap between them. The bikers, now fully aware they were being cornered, began to split up. Denny made a sharp turn, sending his bike skidding down a side trail, hoping to lose his pursuers. His plan, reckless as always, was to create chaos, make them chase shadows. But Daniels wasn't fooled. He had anticipated this move, and Rex's instincts were already tracking the leader's scent. In the quiet that followed, the only sound was the rustling of the trees and the faint hum of distant engines. The tension was suffocating. Daniels knew the moment was fast approaching when one decision, one wrong move, could change everything. The closer they got to the bikers, the more desperate and frantic the gang became. It wasn't just about getting away anymore, it was about survival. As the final stretch of road opened up, Daniels made a choice. He pulled the car off the main trail, following a narrow dirt path that led into a clearing. This was it. The bikers were cornered, but they had no idea just how tightly their world was about to close in on them. With every passing second, the sound of their engines grew louder, and so did the beating of Daniel's heart. The time for running was over. Now, the real hunt was about to begin. As the clearing came into view, Daniel's eyes scanned the area, looking for any sign of movement. He was sure he was close, too close for the bikers to outrun him now. His focus was razor-sharp, but just as he was about to make his final push to confront them, something unexpected happened. A flash of movement caught his attention to the left. Without warning, another set of bikes, older and more rugged, skidded into the clearing, blocking the exit. It was another gang, an even more dangerous group, known for their ruthlessness and willingness to do anything to stay out of prison. Denny's gang hadn't anticipated this. The new arrivals, a heavily armed crew led by a notorious figure named Razor, had been waiting for the bikers to return to their hideout. They had their own score to settle. Razor, a grizzled ex-con, had an eye on Denny's crew for a while, and now, with the law hot on their trail, it seemed like the perfect time to strike. Daniels froze, caught between two dangerous forces. His gut told him the bikers would never expect an ambush from another gang. They were already rattled from the chase and hadn't prepared for this level of aggression. The tension thickened in the air as Razor's men dismounted their bikes, eyes scanning the surroundings, weapons in hand. The sudden shift of power took the bikers by surprise. Denny's gang, already on edge, immediately turned defensive. Shouts echoed through the clearing as both groups exchanged heated words. Daniel's grip tightened on the steering wheel, his mind racing. He couldn't afford to hesitate. If Razor and his crew got their hands on Denny, it would be a bloodbath, and all of Daniel's efforts to protect Rex would be for nothing. Rex's growl broke the silence, a low, menacing sound that sent a chill through Daniel's spine. The K9 was ready, and so was Daniel's. But in that moment, he realized something critical. His pursuit of the bikers had now put him in the middle of a dangerous power struggle, and the stakes had just escalated beyond anything he could have anticipated. He wasn't just hunting criminals anymore. He was about to walk straight into a deadly turf war between two violent gangs. The clock was ticking faster now, and the choices ahead were becoming increasingly impossible. Daniels had no idea how long he could keep Rex safe, but one thing was clear. The resolution to this standoff was going to require more than just a skilled cop and his K9 partner. It was going to take everything they had. The tension in the clearing was at its breaking point. Razor's gang, armed and ready, stared down Denny and his crew, the standoff feeling like it could erupt at any moment. Denny's men were on edge, their hands twitching near their weapons, unsure of which threat to focus on. Daniels knew he had to act fast before the situation spun completely out of control. He didn't waste a second. With a swift motion, he threw open the door of the car, and Rex leaped out, his powerful frame moving like a shadow through the trees. The K9 had been trained for moments like this, and Daniels had faith in him. Without hesitation, he charged after Rex, trusting his partner's instincts to guide them both through the chaos. The bikers were distracted, focused on the threat of Razor's gang. Daniels had only a moment to decide.